30 minutes into the U.S. trading day on this Thursday, February 29th. Here are the top stories we're following. Inflation relief. Wall Street breathing a bit easier after PCE inflation data comes in as expected. Stocks rally and yields dip to the moon. Bitcoin climbing back to all-time highs as billions continue to flood into spot Bitcoin ETFs. We'll break down which funds are seeing the most love. And hotels at all-time highs as revenge spending continues to boost bottom lines. Hyatt CEO and President Mark Hoplamazian joins us for an exclusive interview in just a bit. I'm Katie Greifeld in New York. Welcome to Bloomberg Markets. You take a look at these markets right now. You can see there is green on this screen behind me. You take a look at the S&P 500, are up by about 0.5%. Not a huge move, but compared to what we've been seeing, a little bit exciting here. You take a look at big tech, the NASDAQ 100, actually seeing a bigger gain, up about 0.8%. Of course, we've been talking about that inflation data coming in as expected, a bit of a relief there, and you can see that in the bond market as well. Again, not huge moves that we're talking about, but it's the direction of travel. You have yields moving lower right now to the tune of 3-4 basis points on your 10-year Treasury yield, of course, after the Fed's preferred gauge of underlying inflation. We're talking about the PCE. It rose in January at an as expected pace, supporting the Fed's patient approach. And for more on that data, we're joined now by Bloomberg's Mike McKee. So after what we saw in CPI, this probably good news for the Fed.
Is for
lawmakers, asked Jerome Powell as well. So that should be a lot of fun. Bloomberg's Mike McKee, thank you so much. And let's take a deeper dive into the markets right now, because I'm pleased to say we're joined now by Mandy Zhu. She is head of derivatives market intelligence over at Cboe. Joining me on set, Mandy, it's great to see you.
Great to be here, Katie.
So it's a big macro day, and it's interesting. If you look over the course of 2023, it feels like the FOMC, CPI, some of these jobs days, they turned into moving underneath the markets right now. We're going to do that with Bloomberg's Emily Greifeld. And Emily, snowflake melting.
Yes, exactly, Katie. The biggest drop.
Say they're pivoting into AI.
Into AI. Maybe next quarter.
Yeah, we'll see, of course, if the trajectory continues. Bloomberg's Emily Greifeld, thank you so much. Now coming up, Bitcoin soars over 60. Well, Bitcoin is on its way back to the moon. You have prices of the cryptocurrency climbing back towards record highs as billions of dollars flood into the newly launched spot ETFs. For more on this, we're joined by James Seyffert of Bloomberg Intelligence. And James, I mean, you take a look at some of the numbers, the fact that we're well above 60,000 once again on Bitcoin. Do you think we would be having this conversation had we not finally seen the launch of those spot Bitcoin ETFs?
Yeah, I mean, being
lap right now. James Seyffert of Bloomberg Intelligence, thank you so much. And remember, tune in today at 12:30 p.m. for an interview with Mike Novogratz. All right, time now for Social Climbers. A look at the stocks making waves on social media this morning. And first up, we have C3 AI. It's getting a lot of social love after reporting sales that suggested that customers are responding positively to the company's new AI-based apps. And Bloomberg Best Buy reporting sales that beat expectations. The electronics retailer is in the midst of reversing a 2-year slump thanks to softening demand for electronics and appliances. And finally, this is a really interesting one. We have Weight Watchers International. It's shedding more than just its share price. Oprah Winfrey leaving the company's board. Of course, that is a fresh blow to a company struggling to compete against obesity drugs. And remember, Oprah recently revealed that she used these drugs as a maintenance tool. She did not specify which one. I'm sure a lot of people would love to know, but Weight Watchers currently off by about 24% right now. And of course, you can follow all the latest company buzz on TREN Go on your Bloomberg terminal. Now you take a quick look at these markets right now. It's an up day. Well, we're keeping an eye on travel stocks today as they approach multi-year highs. Bloomberg's Natalia Knijevic is tracking the moves.
Hi, Katie.
So thank you so much. And for more on travel and leisure, I'm thrilled to say that we're joined now by Hyatt CEO Mark Hoplamazian. Hyatt, of course, reported earnings last week. And Mark, I want to bring you something that you said on the earnings call, and that is, quote, we don't need to be the biggest in the industry to be the best because we have and will continue to play the game differently. How is Hyatt playing the game differently?
Well, I think in multiple, first of all,
grow your net rooms, but you also grew fees per room. We talk about pricing power all the time on this show, but when it comes to that high end, that luxury traveler, do you still have that pricing power?
Yes. When you look into the future,
at your average occupancy, it's still lower than 2019 levels, but it sounds like you've more than made up for that on the pricing side.
That's precisely correct.
Especially in February, but that's a different conversation. Let's talk about what else we learned last week in Hyatt's earnings. Of course, it seems like Wall Street was particularly jazzed about the 80% sale of the Unlimited Vacation Club business. I want to talk about why, though. Does this necessarily alter your strategy, or was this more about simplifying your disclosures?
Well, you're obviously paying a lot of.
A minute left with you, but I am really curious to get your thoughts on this narrative of revenge travel, revenge spending that's been used to explain a lot of what we're seeing in the entire travel industry. Is that what you're seeing as well? And if that's the case, would you expect it to peter out from here?
Yeah, I think it's
Swift, an economic force. Mark, really appreciate your time. Enjoyed this conversation. That is Mark Hoplamazian, the CEO of Hyatt. Of course, Hyatt trading close to an all-time high right now, as to are many of its peers. The travel industry just on fire right now. But let's see if the broader market is on fire as well. We're going to do that with Abigail Doolittle.
I don't know if
Doolittle, thank you so much. Now, coming up, repricing, what the Fed will do and where to invest. We'll hear from Lindsay Rosner of Goldman Sachs. All right, it's time for Wall Street Week, and today we look at the best places to be in fixed income. Lindsay Rosner, Goldman Sachs Asset Management, head of multi-sector investing, spoke with Wall Street Week host David Weston on where they're finding the best returns. And that was Wall Street Week's David Weston and Lindsay Rosner of Goldman Sachs Asset Management. And tomorrow on Wall Street Week,